back for another Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts episode, and you just see me setting up the retreat of Dane Seft and its forces. We have encountered a rather large force of Italian ships, and by rather large, I mean they've got 4 battleships at least in this fleet. 4 battleships, a whole bunch of armoured cruisers and stuff, and I've only just got light cruisers and stuff, and I'm going to operate the speedboat ship up here, one the Shikishima class. As I'm going to keep this thing around the Dane Seft just to give the Dane Seft a bit of protection. Via a smoke screen to the stern, while we retreat ourselves from this battle. No one's going to get victory points from this, but I will hopefully be able to send my ships home from this. Ah, they lost a crew member. Okay. The fact the game hasn't crashed yet means that we are doing well. Now, one thing I'm going to have to do, because of reasons, I'm going to have to send my ships home or blockaded. Because I've been focusing on invasion fleets, I did not focus on being blockaded. Well, blockade protection, really, and so I've got to send my ships back to give power protection to unblockade me. Hopefully pretty soon as well, the emergency crash build of my destroyers, of my Momies, I think, should be completed. Ah, the Hatsbird class. 4 twin turret and 1 single in the aft. Oh god. 5.9, that's actually quite strong for secondary matter even at that time. That's like the biggest caliber of gun you get on modern day warships. I don't want the clip to continue. Oh god, not this again. Final stand, stop the Persians, spear in hand. Form a war, live to fall, then live forever. Oh no. That was my Control-Alt-Delete from earlier. finally occurred. What took it ages? I don't know. Oh, I should have checked how many ships my enemies have before I sent them into battle again for their home from a far distant land of martial commands. Oh, yeah, what happened between now and the last episode? The Americans declared peace with us. Yeah, they got a little bit unhappy with me that I took over a certain territory off them that we all know well. And yeah, actually thinking if I can get Borneo, northern Borneo or somewhere. No. No. Best off return back to Japan. Or Japanese held territories. That's the best option for us right now, and I'm possibly going to have to prepare to get Tsingtao back. I'm not going to fight this one. This one can be left to the RNG, which, knowing my luck, left to the RNG means Amagi is going to be dead and gone. Well, Ocean takes no damage. Amagi's not dead. Improvements. But most of my navy is under repair right now. And we are... Oh god. Kirishima. You're 7 months. Yeah, take you out of service entirely. Taiho is 5 months. Yeah. Sino 15 months. I hate having to break up on the Deku class, but it's gonna have to be done. You guys are all Yamatos. I can get rid of all Yamatos that are under repair, because we got the new light cruisers anyway, so... Okay. You're taking 4 turns. No, I'm not spending 4 turns on repairing a destroyer. Some of our repairing destroyers can be scrapped off and their crews sent back to newer ships that'll come out in 3 turns. Pretty much my entire navy right now is in repairs. Right, I'm scrapping the submarine fleet. We need to reduce costs somewhere, and that somewhere is obviously all this. That's got like 20,000 off our thing. Right, fingers crossed on that one, because I could turn back in that battle But then again, I could increase my victory points against the Brits, so yeah, that. Right. The Otago class, both of them got destroyed in battle, so Shuriyama design got refit, so the original design can go goodbye. The Diluc design also got refit, so Diluc and Deku can go. Those are our current heavy cruisers, but I want... Right, so I'm going to need to get rid of some more ships. Yeah, almost the entire Yamato class are gone. Artero and Dominatos, they're still both in repair and still both separated from each other. Their invasion there isn't going well. Their invasion into Tsingtao, though, is going well. Policies. Soviet Union, we request that a relationship improvement program happens between our two nations. Right, this turn we get more ships off the dockyards. We're still being blockaded badly, but at least a lot of our currently repairing ships are off the dockyards of repairs. Quite a few of them are, at least. And I'm going to need to hasten my attempts to defeat China. I say attempts. If you look at the victory points between me and China, I'm winning. Although that win is being slowly differed because of the blockade. They gain victory points through the blockade, and this particular blockade is gaining them quite a lot of victory points. So I'm barely winning against Germany. I've lost my lead against the Brits. I am losing against Spain and Italy. China, I'm still winning despite everything. Although I may want to policies, Americans. Our best hope is to turn to our old enemies. If not much else. Oh god, I don't want the Soviets joining in. If the Soviets join in, I'm screwed. Convoy battle against the Chinese with one of my Shuriyamas and one of the Chokais. Okay, let's go. Because all the victory points gained from this will be going towards killing off China from this war. So if I can kill off China from this war, then I can save my provinces from Chinese invasion. I'm obviously as well going to have to take actions to save myself from blockade entirely, which I am admittedly doing said actions by sending my entire fleet back to my home waters. Ah, they are Blenheims. Get it? Because they have an heavy cruiser, or possibly, knowing this era, armed cruiser Blenheim there. But then again, we're at the point where every nation should, by this point, have some form of modern cruisers, and is in the process of phasing out, in my case, or have already phased out the older cruisers. Me, on the heavy cruiser side, I have phased out the older ones, but on the light cruiser side, I'm still in the middle of phasing them out. Okay, Totoro is going to go its own way. You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. You can go your own way, yeah, go your own way. Tell me why everything turned around. You know what? Nah. That's enough of Fleetwood Mac for right now. A band which is finally retired. Although under unfortunate circumstances, but still, at least they finally did the thing they should have done ages ago and retired. Yep, that's another cruiser of the Brits. That's the British heavy cruiser just there. And there's light cruisers in sight. Totoro only needs to go down to 26 knots for its cruising speed. You need to go down to cruising speed. What do I expect from a battleship? Yep, secondary guns go towards the destroyers there. Yes, I am firing against the correct targets with what I should be firing with weapon run. Set those towards the destroyer over there, and then primaries being sent over to the heavy cruiser. God, it's been rare occurrences where I could say heavy cruiser for a cruiser. And this is one of them. Shells going in. Yes. Yeah, that's the destroyer fleet just there. So I may want to be a bit careful with mainly the battleship here. They've taken hits, the heavy cruiser's taken hits. That's good news for us. We're in our cruise speed, so we have things. It's going down. And it wasn't heavy, it was a light. There we go. It's mainly Totoro that's doing all the damage here. Okay, you focus everything on Leander. Do you focus everything on the Chinese cruiser there? Never mind. You focus everything on that ship just there and turn over hard over starboard. Okay. That took the rudder. I say briefly. Yeah, it was only briefly. The rudder went dead. And then Dido. They're older type cruisers. And who was thinking that nations were phasing them out? I seem to be the only nation that's fully phased out older ships, as even though it hasn't all officially done yet, the Yamato's is scrapped. Well, no longer in active service, I should say, because they've been relegated, the surviving ships, to the Department of Historical Ship Preservation. But as the game would call it, scrapping. Move in towards targets, help the poor Totoro out. You're going as fast as you can, it's good. That's all I ask of you. So we have steering damage, but we can still fight. Totoro has been ordered to retreat. Totoro is to make its top speed and get out of here. Foxhound's out of torpedo ammo. If I can... Right. Totoro, no, your flooding is too bad for me to allow you to return to the fight. guy's pretty much gone. Yeah, he's gone now entirely. There's no saving that ship. We need some lighter ships here. If I'm being completely honest. We need some lighter ships to take up the raids. They're going down. Now if I can shoot the Blenheim up to death, then I may have a chance at the other ships. Shoot up the Blenheim, but then don't kill it, then I can slow down their forces. Okay. Refocus fire. We've left them slowly further than their speed already can take them. It's the Chinese boat vessels that are fastest, so Blenheim's fired, so turn towards Blenheim. And then have that torpedo straight away. Those torpedoes coming from there, so yeah, we've crippled them. They're gone. Focus up, Blenheim. Saying they're gone and then they prove to actually survive their guided community. Now everything with your guns focus on the black. The only surviving ship of this enemy task group. Who, because of how old they are, burns a lot easier than magnesium. But it's not fire that'll take them down, it's flooding. So all ships of mine were saved for a whole bunch of losses there. And I should have pushed the victory points enough that China would want a peace treaty. Which then I will accept China's peace treaty, so then I gain, while also not losing my territories, as in like, gain as in money wise. Oh yeah, I should mention follower only chat is off if anyone wants to chat. No, am I able to pin my own message? That's the thing. It's copied, but I'm not able to ping it from my phone. Pin it, I mean, from my phone. Never mind. Okay, so heavy and medium damage to both of my ships, but everything there has been sunk. In China, Nutsuro against the Springbok. Springbok 29. No. I just remember an aircraft investigation episode where the aircraft's call sign was Springbok 295. That was, so Natura and Springbok both heavily damaged each other. Natura a bit worse, Springbok. And then the cat teams, I'm guessing, were like, you know what, we can't actually kill each other, and we're both out of ammo. Let's call it a draw, and you can head back to Japanese controlled waters. I'll let you back, and you let me back to British controlled waters. That's what we're going to say happened there. And now let's finally do a bit of a check here to see if the peace treaty option comes up under China. No, it doesn't. Oh yeah, our expenses are too high. Zeldzero is 10 months. Arterov. This is all again with overcapped docks. Yamato class, like I said, are all destined for death. Kagezan a turn, Setsu 2 turns. On a turn, Totoro is being repaired. Dominatos is repaired. Artero is still being repaired. You're being scrapped. You're being scrapped. Right, I need to get rid of a couple 100,000 tons of the shipyards, which will be done by suspending the Totoro in repairs, because it's a Chokai anyway, so. Cargo will be complete in the turn, so I can then assuredly know that cargo will bring our dockyard to a good capacity again. Okay, so it seems that Leander, Dido, and Patrol and Blenheim names are being reused straight away by the Royal Navy. Yeah, it's one of those loading screens where I have to do this to get it to work. Oh yes, about the horrible implementation of the Souls the Salisbury bus stop real-time things. So just the new thing I was reading. Because, yeah, I need to keep track of the Salisbury bus stuff because I'm going to be failing my course I'm on if I don't. Oh, we got an extra viewer here. Yeah, I just had to quickly fix the loading screen where the usual thing of building new ships taking so long thing. Loading world. Right. Spartas, hate us. Then and again, sing a 300 men. Slaughter. Persians, glory in death. Spartans will never surrender. Well, at least the blockade from the American side is over. Click to continue. Okay, I don't want to fight this one because I need to check some other stuff like how to reduce the Navy's budget expenditure. Although I could have fought it and done something to try and help break the blockade. Okay, policies. With the offer of a peace treaty from Germany, but then no. Okay, Ito, Daku, and Sawyer have encountered a whole bunch of DDs. Now, the best course of action here is to run away. Because if I don't, my ships are going to get torpedoed to death. As these are Chinese destroyers, not British, they unfortunately have reloads. Which, having reloads, is not good when you're on the receiving end of the torpedoes. It's good for the attacking end, but when you're the receiving end, no, it isn't good. Shared designs that I built, they all have increased torpedoment, so no, it's not good whatsoever. The Admiralty type, also known as the Scott class. I believe that destroyer class, or at least one of the ships that are covered in a book I've got here. Look at base camp for reference to the book. A book on destroyers of World War II by, well, the book's called Destroyers of World War II by M.J. Whitley. And I found it was a great source of me getting specs on destroyers. And also it counts the calibers in inches instead of millimeters, so at least during my World of Warships playing for the destroyers, bearing in mind only the destroyers, I don't have to guess what the caliber is. I can just look through that book and then get a decisive, oh, it's that caliber. Some calibers I can remember off the top of my head in millimeters, like 420 I believe is 18. 406 is ish, well, round up 406 is 16 inch. No, 457, that's 18 inch. Or close enough to 18 inch. 18-inch guns in games I've played has always been referred to as 457s, so I'm going to assume that 457's about a rounding thing. Okay. It's responding. Good. Right. Your job, Ito, is to retreat. Your job, cruisers, is to screen the Ito on its retreat. Yeah, Ito and Deku, your two's jobs as to retreat and get the hell out of here. Now the Ito here is going to need a massive refit. Massive reconstruction. The entire class is going to need it. And we've already been spotted, and they've lost sight of us. Good. I'm going to do the honourable French thing and retreat. Okay, we are actually getting away. Yarataki Ito. Yarataki Ito and the Deku are getting away from this fight easily. So is Sawyer. I'm just going to say that we identified the destroyers were on the way because of the RDF systems that were fitted onto the Deku and the Sawyer. I'm saying Deku and Sawyer because obviously the Itos haven't had the refit to bring them onto the ships yet. That's 10 times speed ahead. Deku can go a bit quicker than that, so I'm going to let Deku go quicker. I'm going to let the Sawyer go quicker and Sawyer go quicker, and we're going to leave the Ito a bit behind, but and it's the Ito they keep spotting because that's the largest thing here. 65, yeah, the Ito is the largest thing here. Surprisingly, despite well, actually, Ito's Pagoda Master's taller. Yes, we can very soon get ourselves out of this fight. This tense moment led to one man from one of the destroyers getting killed, and then none of our men getting killed. It'd be a funny thing in like a history video on Deku. It's like, and the only interesting thing the ship has done in its career, other than lead invasions, happened when it got encountered by a whole bunch of Chinese destroyers. But then it only turned out that the Chinese destroyers were too far away to spot the Deku by the time that the RDF aboard the ship and the accompanying light cruiser discovered the destroyer was there. And so, making the best of an opportunity of not getting torpedoed to death, The crew of the Deku turned away. But in a shocking twist of fate, during that small engagement, one man from the Chinese destroyers was killed. His loss was put down to enemy fire because the Chinese didn't want it known that their engine rooms were toxic death traps. And called it a day. Meanwhile, the blockade on Japan was still in full swing. With the Japanese Naval High Command having to make sacrifices. But none more could be made than the already made sacrifices of scrapping a lot of the older remaining ships. And obviously having the Otago class be sunk in earlier battles. Click to continue, please. Please. Thank you. And now it's not loading after doing the click to continue. That's the end of the episode, viewers. Hope you enjoyed Sun Service Going Silent.